Good evening, good cavell, buenos noches, it's Queen Creeps here, and because I am absolutely bored as hell and I just want to experiment a bit, this here is my first and most likely only blind creepypasta reading. And the actual reason I'm doing this is because I found it like whilst flicking through a load of comments and stuff, and it wasn't on my channel, but it's one of those things where like someone puts, "Can you read my pasta like on your channel?" And so far, the person who it was meant to hasn't narrated it, so I thought I'd narrate it, because why not? This is going to be so weird. Okay, so this story is called Heartlock, and it's by Rika Acklin. Okay, before we start, can I just say Rika Acklin is an amazing name. That's such a cool name. Like, it's credited to Rika Acklin, but the YouTube channel, if you want to check it out, is Blaze the Pirate, and then in brackets Insanity Undead. So this should be fun. Right, let's go. Heartlock. A 17-year-old boy was living with his parent, and he was abused a lot by them. Wait, then? But you're living with one parent? For fuck's sake. Scott, get your Oh, that's speech. Oh, okay, there's no speech marks, so this, great start. Okay, Scott, get your fucking ass in here, his mum shouted. Scott walked in, then his mum slapped him across the face. For fuck's sake. Why the hell did you supposed to starve to fucking death, you piece of shit? Great mum! This is the hallmarks for a creepypasta character right here. She grabbed a butcher knife and slit his left eye. He tried to hold in his tears. Then she tried to slit the right until the father busted in. Okay, when I think of the father, I think of the enemy guy from that new game, Rise of Strangers. just this like Christian priest father coming in. Okay. You piece of shit, boy! Get your ass over here! Get your ass over here! And then in bold letters, Scott didn't listen. Did you hear me, boy? Get your ass over here! His father walked over and started to punch and grabbed him by the collar and slammed him against the window. You didn't fucking did your chores. What the fuck have you been doing? Sorry, are we just going to ignore the fact his left eye's been slit open and it's like bleeding to death and all you're worried about is chores? Great parents. Scott stared at him and said, "I was at my girlfriend." So apparently my girlfriend is a place. He stuttered, then his father angrily said to him, "You don't have a girlfriend because you're a piece of shit. So stop fucking saying that you have a fucking girlfriend because no one loves you. You're just heartless." With yours spelt wrong. God. Scott angrily pushed his father away and started to run out the door. He ran as fast as he could. He ran all the way. He ran as fast as he could. There's like no punctuation at all. He ran all the way to his girlfriend's house. Her name was Emily. She loved Scott for any could imagined. They were a great couple, but when Scott got there, she saw what his parents did to him. She tried to call the cops, but he stopped her. "No, it'll make it worse, so please don't." Emily nodded. "Okay." Wait, that's... So, great girlfriend, so your boyfriend has had his left eye split open, could potentially die at any minute because it's bleeding out so much, and instead of just worrying about his safety, disregarding what he said, and actually call the cops to get him help, you just say, "Okay, fine, we'll just let you bleed out." Fuck's... What a shit girlfriend. Okay, she pulled something out of her pocket. "It's for you. It has a picture of me and you." Scott was puzzled, and he kissed her and thanked her, and asked her if he could stay for the night. She answered with a yes. Scott was happy. Later that night, Scott heard a scream from Emily's room. He ran into her room and saw a murder that had left the room. What? He saw a murder that had left the room. I think that's supposed to say murderer. Scott ran to Emily, but all he could see from her were multiple stab wounds from her heart. Her mother ran in and told him to get the fuck out of my house, you monster. You monster. Scott ran as far as he could, listening to what her mother said. "You monster, you monster, you monster." He ran all the way home. He grabbed a butcher knife that his mum used on him to cut his eyes. He stared into the mirror and repeated those words. "You monster, you monster." For fuck's sake. He started to sharpen his teeth. I think that's supposed to say sharpening, but I could just picture him getting a Sharpie and like colouring his teeth in. Just like gap teeth. He started to sharpen his teeth like what monsters have while thinking of those words. "You monster, you monster." Like what monsters have? Not all monsters have sharp teeth. It's kind of like prejudice to monsters. His mother saw what he was doing, so she called the cops on him. They came and started to take him away, and the last words he heard from his parents, "You heartless nobody, you should have no heart," and those were the words he thought of now. Right, so we're suddenly in Kingdom Hearts. You should have no heart, you should have no heart. The cops put him in the car and started to drive away. He kept on thinking those words. "You should have no heart, you should have no heart." We know the words. Then Scott started to freak out. The cops later pulled over to slap. Okay. The cops later pulled over to slap some sense out of him. Cops aren't supposed to slap people, especially teenagers. No, for fuck's sake. Sorry, I need to get my breath back. Once they opened the door to get him and slap him, he jumped onto the one cop and tore his throat out. Okay, that was a bit quick. The other cop eagerly tried to pull out his gun. "I'm gonna kill some kids," and tried to shoot him, but it was too late. He had already tore his throat out. The Scott eagerly walked to his house. The Scott. His parents were already asleep. He knocked at the door. The parents woke up. Then his mum answered the door and saw Scott covered in blood, and he angrily said, "Hello, mother," or should I say, "bitch." What is this story? He tackled his mum, but she eagerly grabbed the knife and tried to stab him. He grabbed the wrist with the knife and snapped the wrist and took the knife and said, "You shouldn't have a heart." And he started to cut her heart out. "Oh no," I think this is him speaking. "Oh no, this heart is too evil for Emily. I guess I should eat it." He started to eat the heart until he heard his father making sure if his wife was okay. "Honey, are you okay?" So his wife's just like there on the ground and he's just like, "Yeah, you okay? Good." He started to walk out of his room and saw a bloody pool of his own wife's blood. He ran to her. "Who did this to you?" as he shouted. Then he heard his son laughing. "Well, that's a funny question, Dad. It was me. And you know what I think, that you shouldn't have a heart as well." I sound like Laughing Jack. Okay, he started to charge at him, but his father kicked him in the face. Nice. And pinned him on the ground and yelled at him. "Who the fuck are you?" Scott chuckled. "Don't you remember, Daddy? It's me, your son." He bit his father's arm. As he grabbed his arm in pain, he got kicked off of Scott. Oh my god, a comma. What a relief. Scott stood up and grabbed the knife. "You see, Daddy, this is why you should have no heart, because you're a big piece of shit, so you shouldn't have a heart." You don't have to say that twice. He pinned his father down and started to cut out his heart. He ripped it out of his chest. No, this heart is too evil for Emily's heart." He opened his mouth and started to eat his own parents' hearts. When he was done, he grabbed his girlfriend's heart amulet. He opened it up and said, "Don't worry, Emily. I'll find you a heart. No matter what, I'll kill anyone to bring you back. But I think I don't want to be called Scott." Who talks like this? Okay, as he chuckled, I think I'll call me heart. Oh, I think it's supposed to be myself, but it's done like this. I think I'll call me Heartlock. It's not like a pirate. Heartlock. I think I'll call me Heartlock. Because you're... that's spelled wrong. You're my key, but is tossed in the ocean, and my heart will never be unlocked. He stood up and put it back on the amulet. Put what back on the amulet? And walked out of the house, and he kept on saying, "You shouldn't have no heart," in his head over and over again and again and again. So in the middle of the night, and you hear this reference, "You shouldn't have no heart." Right, can we just say something here? Two things. Number one, it should be, "You shouldn't have a heart," because A, that's a double negative, and B, that technically means you should have a heart. For God's sake. Okay, so we're almost done. You shouldn't have no heart. Right, sorry, I'll start that again. In the middle of the night, you hear this reference, "You shouldn't have no heart." You know your heart would belong to someone else, or to him. Right, what's your name again? Riker Acklin? What drugs were you taking when you wrote that? Oh my god. Holy shit. I've got no words. That was... Alright, I suppose I better give it like a critical analysis. The spelling was a bit shit. Use the word shit a lot in this story. There's almost next to no punctuation. You use those little sort of asterisk marks instead of speech marks. It was confusing as fuck. But I would give it 2 out of 10 because, to be fair, that idea of a sort of creepypasta monster isn't too bad. Like, call me insane or whatever, but it's just I think that's a funny thing. Heartlock, because you're my key, but it's tossed in the ocean and my heart will never be unlocked. It's a sort of cute sort of idea of one of my god. Right, I have to challenge you guys, if you've reached to the end of this video, please draw fan art of Heartlock, because if I'm sure most of you guys watch Hooter Hoodlum's Revenge, and the joke of his channel is that he's in love with Clockwork. This is the joke with my channel. I want to have a relationship with Heartlock. So please draw fan art, write the fan fiction, do anything, because we need to make this a trend. This is the best, worst thing I've ever read. Oh my god. I'm just gonna go and mentally recover. And to those of you who are asking, a Hunger Games video will probably be out soon as well. I'm sorry I haven't done one for the past 2 months. Just stuff's been on chaos. This is so funny. I promise you. I know a lot of people have been requesting Alexa. I'll put him in, but I'm putting Heartlock in. There is no way I'm missing him out. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that, and goodbye.